So just finished watching Toy Story 5, and here's my spoiler-free review. So this film follows Jesse and the gang as they deal with Bonnie's new tablet named Lilypad, which Bonnie starts spending way more time playing with than playing with the actual toys. For some quick background, I grew up with the original Toy Story trilogy, and I'm sure a lot of you did too. I of course loved the first two Toy Story films, but Toy Story 3 is my favorite animated film of all time. Toy Story 4 divided a lot of people with its ending and Woody's choice, but when I rewatched it leading up to this film, I saw it in a different lens and started to appreciate it a lot more. Also, in case you didn't know, the original Toy Story film is not only the first Pixar film ever, but it's also the first full-length computer animated feature film, so this franchise is naturally a massive landmark in cinema. This film is directed by Andrew Stanton, who has been with Pixar since day one, and he has previously directed Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, and WALL-E. Even though he has worked on the screenplay and story for the previous four Toy Story films, this is the first time he's directing one. And once again, Pixar proves that this Toy Story franchise can still go on, and that it's far from over. The film focuses on technology and how kids are now choosing tablets and screens over traditional toys. I was initially skeptical because that sounds like the sort of topic that would have been more suited to the last decade, but the film handles it in a surprisingly fresh way. It also explores other tech and friendship related themes, such as cyberbullying, FOMO, cancel meetup, and even hurtful messages. But the two topics that hit the hardest for me were feeling low in friends and being friends with people who are actually not the right friends for you. I also appreciated that this film doesn't just frame technology as the bad guys. Instead, it highlights both its benefits as well as its potential dangers. It also raises interesting questions about whether children should be allowed to digitally communicate with their friends and whether social media actually helps friendships or if it actually makes them worse, which are both questions that are highly prevalent today. Just like how Monsters University shifted the protagonist from Sully to Mike, and Incredibles 2 shifted the protagonist from Mr. Incredible to Elastigirl, this film shifts the franchise's iconic protagonist of Woody to Jesse, and naturally this makes sense since Jesse is Bonnie's favorite toy, just like how Woody was Andy's favorite toy. Since Toy Story 2 already covered Jesse's backstory, I had mixed feelings about this film revisiting it. But rather than retreading old ground, it builds on a past, adds more insight, and makes it relevant to the story. And as always, Pixar got me emotional. I also love how this film uses a unique animation style whenever the kids are playing with toys, which makes those playtime scenes feel even more imaginative and exciting. Bonnie is more front and center in this film than any other toy owner has ever been in a Toy Story film, and I was genuinely invested in her goal to make more friends while navigating through the dangers of technology. Just like the previous Toy Story films, this one is hilarious too, and it made me laugh out loud so many times in the cinema. I also think that this film is very well paced. Also, from the very beginning, we're introduced to an army of Buzz Lightyear toys, and they do eventually tie into the main plotline and get paid off. On one hand, I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy whenever the film cut back to this army before the payoff happens. On the other hand, those early sequences don't initially justify why they're important to the main story, which may frustrate some viewers until they eventually become involved in this main plotline. And as delightful as it is to see Woody again, and as glad as I am that he appears, he isn't really necessary to the story being told here. The film could largely have remained the same without his involvement, and perhaps Buzz could have been given a larger role instead. Also, since the cast keeps growing with every new movie in this franchise, some characters have little to no contributions to the story, and they are often sidelined in favor of new characters. Conan O'Brien plays a potty training toy in this film named Smarty Pants, and he's absolutely hilarious, and it's a perfect role for Conan. However, his character brings a lot of toilet humor, which may put some viewers off. But since it's all in the context of a potty training toy cracking a bunch of jokes, I personally overlooked it. Even though Toy Story 5 isn't as good as the original Toy Story trilogy, I still reckon it's better than Toy Story 4. Overall, I give this film a solid 9.5 out of 10 and definitely check it out in cinemas.